BlueMetric is mission-ready water. We are world-class experts solving our clients' most challenging environmental problems. BlueMetric provides a full range of environmental consulting services supported by bespoke engineering solutions for emergency, self-contained, and permanent water systems, and is always mission-ready with a full range of in-house support. There is no successful mission without water. We are proud to partner with Atlantic Canadian Industries. We are mission-ready water.
Well, I'm Alan Dale from Gale Force Winds, and I want to tell you what a great time I'm having here at MASS 2024 in beautiful St. John's, Newfoundland. Day 2, a lot of great things happening here at the conference, brought to us by the good people at the Atlantic Canadian Aerospace and Defence Association. They get the importance of bringing these conversations alive, and certainly our friends at BlueMetric, they are true thought leaders here. They understand that these conversations need to leave the showroom floor and hit the virtual space through the internet, and it's all happening in the moment. So great to bring these conversations alive. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Thanks. So my name is CarolAnn Harding. I'm the CEO of SmartICE.
Okay, SmartICE. I need to know everything about SmartICE.
Oh, well, we don't have all day, but I will start. So SmartICE is a not-for-profit, and we run the business model as a social enterprise. And we are a climate change adaptation tool company, essentially. Okay. And we have different types of remote sensors that we work with in community, in rural, remote, Indigenous communities for the most part. We're working in about 35 communities across Canada, all the way from Nunatsiavut, all the way through Nunavut to Nuvialuit, and now into Northwest Territories and moving into the Yukon.
Wow. What kind of sensors are you using?
Yeah, so we've got a couple of remote types of sensors. One of them is a smart buoy, and that it gets put into the ice and it stays in there all season. All ice season, so that could be 3 months, 6 months, depending on where you are in the geography of the Arctic and how long the ice is in, and that talks to the satellite every day. Okay. And then it sends back down the data, and we process the data, and then we're able to share that data of how thick the ice is around those sensors. So those are in situ sensors, and there's that one. We also have another mobile sensor called a smart Cometic, and that Cometic is runs and is towed behind a skidoo. So you're on the land fast ice, so it's the ice that's attached to the land, and then it's measured the community trails or wherever the community management committees and community members really need to know how thick the ice is in the community paths, for example.
Right.
So paths to get to country food, so to go harvest, go to another community, go to work, do right. Whatever they're going to do. So it's about a tool in the toolbox.
Right.
We also do freshwater solutions, so we can use the buoy in freshwater, because seawater and freshwater is minus the salinity. That can be used, and we have another sensor for freshwater as well.
Wow. The data that's collected, where is it stored, and how is it displayed to people?
Yeah, so that's two great questions. So the data we pulled in, we keep the data, and we're custodians of the data. So as an Indigenous-led social enterprise, we believe that all the data that we collect is owned by the community. So we really take that serious, the security of that data. So I'm not going to tell you where it is,
okay,
because of data security. Yeah. But I can tell you that we take it very serious, and we're the custodians of that data. And then communities can use the data how they see it. What we do with the community data that is used for decision making is we work with a community organization called SIKU, and it's a platform owned by the Arctic Eider Society, which again is an Indigenous social enterprise.
Right.
And then community members can register for SIKU in their community, and they can bring up the SmartICE data on there. So it'll show a map, and that map will be color coded, and it will be in imperial because the communities want to work in imperial versus metric. And they can bring up that map of where the operators have gone, and it says in the color code exactly how thick the ice is in wherever they've gone for that particular day. Wow. And so we're developing now the baselines in some new communities, and so we can see trends over the years. So you go into SIKU, pick a date last year, see where the ice was last year, see where it is this year. So those are tools that people can go into SIKU and pull it down. We also pull it down, and we disseminate the information through social media, really big in community, so Facebook,
right.
On TVs, that we have in some of the communities, and directly to the source of, the hamlet, the hunters and trappers, the search and rescue technicians, whoever is using them in community.
Somebody was traveling up there, whether it be a commercial vessel or a government vessel, they wanted that data. Do they get access to it? Do you sell them that data? How does that work?
No, because it's not our data.
Right.
It's not our data to
Okay.
sell. So we do not sell that data.
Okay.
We work with the communities, and the communities try to figure out how to do that.
Right.
So we're developing some frameworks with communities about how to monetize the data potentially, if they want that.
Yeah.
And we're facilitators of that.
Yeah.
We also make maps, and this is a really unique part of what we do. We train young Inuit in Earth observation, and they're taking satellite imagery, and they are learning GIS, and they're creating maps of their regions. And those maps are layered with the Indigenous and local knowledge. And so those maps can be used potentially if they want to share them with the Coast Guard, with search and rescue, these sorts of things. So it's fairly new, and it's how to be able to do that right now is where we are with that. But for certainly layering it with the Indigenous knowledge, it just really gives a more wholesome view of the area, and where the flow edge is, where the problematic pieces of ice are, when is the ice leaving, and you can actually see it sort of receding into the community harbor. So there's lots of different applications, but we take the lead from the communities because they are the owners of the data. Very different.
Yeah.
Right?
It's interesting, and what a great model that is, and really almost like a pathway for a lot of the companies that are here are really interested in doing work in the Arctic. And you're showing a pathway that this is all about community engagement. This is all about local folks being a big part of what's happening there. What advice would you give to companies that are wanting to do work in the Arctic?
Go to the Arctic and learn about it and meet people and really see what's important to the Arctic. And there is a mismatch sometimes between what companies think is important and what community thinks is important, and you've got to find that middle ground. And the only way to do that is through very sincere, respectful conversation and engagement, and see if your values line up. And if your values of a company lines up with values of a community, then there's progress and there's hope that you can work together. It's pretty simple, but people are usually in a hurry, and this takes time. And I think to be respectful, you need to give yourself a lot of time to engage. And it is a downfall. People do not engage appropriately or the amount of time required.
Yeah, I love that piece of advice. Give it time. And let the relationship evolve over time. And learn, right? And it can be a beautiful thing if you approach it that way.
Yeah.
But too often we are in a rush to get to the end game, to get that return on investment. But this sounds more like we need good relationship development right out of the gate.
Oh, absolutely. And if you don't have that and you don't commit to that, there's one thing to just do it once. You need to return and return and return. And you think about going to any new market, you need to go and you need to get the feel for it.
Yeah.
But this is a little bit different. So it is layered a little bit differently when you're talking about rural, remote, Indigenous communities, because logistics is hard, and logistics are expensive. And so it costs more money, but that doesn't mean that it's not worth it.
Right.
I
really appreciate your perspective, and thank you for telling us all about SmartICE. What an incredible offering. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
BlueMetric is your partner and works with Atlantic Canadian industries and organizations who are concerned about the water health of our planet and the people who inhabit it in an environmentally and culturally sensitive manner. BlueMetric joins the growing number of like-minded, innovative Atlantic Canadian companies who are changing the environmental landscape for the globe in a world-class way. World-class experts solving our clients' most challenging environmental problems. We are mission-ready water.